And so, that takes us right into the next bout. I was shocked to see that this one is so low
No, but
on the
here's the thing.
card.
This is what my boy Pies who's chasing the passion is gonna understand. Like, you gonna learn today. And I think this is one of those cards where, like, for all those fights that you love, you know what I mean? I think you're going to see that you're able to judge the quality of, let me rank these fights truly and see where I'm going to get the most action and understand that. Let's talk about it. What is, in the modern day, the worst possible fight? People used to think it was actually women's MMA. I think the more reason is to not watch women punch each other in the face at this point. But if you look at it, I actually
Let me guess.
Sure.
Heavy boys that get tired.
Yeah, man. Who's watching that now? Back in the day, people were still drunk enough and being like, oh, come on, man, please. Even in the third round, you can do it. I got like a kid sleeping next door. Like, I'm only screaming if I'm watching like 20 shot combos and like flying fists in the air, Frankie, a great example, but like it is what it is, right? Like, unfortunately, athleticism is taking over the sport. Perfect timing because ESPN decided to take it over too. So I think it's a great time to kind of separate the athletes from the, hey man, don't fight me because I'll knock the shit out.
I got power. Yeah, exactly. And that's exemplified in these two dudes here. We got Alonzo Menifield and William Knight. Two dudes who are straight finishers. So much power in this. Like you said, I'm curious to see if either of them can execute that power early, or if this does become one of those ones that kind of drags on, and in the third round, it's a lot of leaning on each other and that heavyweight,
But I'm actually going to challenge that point because William Knight, for me, man, it's comparable because I think people learn how to carry muscle in MMA. I think that is a very difficult thing to train for. I think that's a very difficult thing when psychologically, physically, all the things that come into play inside the octagon that, equal fatigue. I think that's something you just can't quantify, and it comes with experience. And I think Menifeld, now that he's fought some of the top guys in the UFC, has experienced that a little bit. He's seen what it means to not just walk into a first round and kind of go crazy. Like, when you talk about his experience, right? 2 times on Dana White's Contender Series, 2 first round finishes, right? One was via doctor stoppage at the end of the first, and the other one was inside I think it was 10 seconds. Yeah, 8 seconds was the finish. So, he's been in Bellator, he's been in RFA, he's been in LFA. So it's one of those guys where I think he just needed the time to really learn. Those losses don't mean that much. You know what I mean? They're more experienced L's than big L's. And I think those are the best kind of losses to take in a sport like this.
Yeah, and I think you touched on it perfectly with, the wanting to get that huge knockout out, throwing those huge punches that kind of open you up and make you a little susceptible. And that's what I kind of noticed in that OSP fight, right? He was landing a lot early and he was actually doing really well, but I think he got a little carried away, tried to land some huge overhand and just got caught, right?
Yo, you're getting me hyped with that kind of shit, bro. Don't be talking like that. Down, boy. Just kidding. So the main thing I wanted to actually touch on in this fight is, did you watch the Camur fight by any chance with William Knight? Only reason I ask is because you kind of touched on it, right? When you look at William Knight size-wise, like, even being the guy that he is, a little bit smaller probably than the guys he might have to take on based on height, but dude is just quick. He's powerful. Yeah. He's an NFL running back at the MMA level because he's able to get low. He's able to use power. He's able to use his legs. Like, the way he was able to control Camur against the fence, the way he was able to get some of these takedowns. And honestly, bro, he ended the second round in mount, basically on the verge of breaking this kid's arm. And his cardio really looked good in the third round. So for me, it's like, this is the perfect test. So, like, again, kudos to UFC matchmaking because I think these are two guys where you look at them and you expect one thing, but this is the perfect time for Menifeld to prove, hey, do I have what it takes to go those 3 rounds? Because if I do, then I'm a pretty dangerous guy myself, because William Knight is proving that, especially in those close quarters and clinches and stuff like that, dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one where it can go either way. No outcome here will surprise me. So, let's dive right into those lines. I'll go first on this one. I'm torn, man. I really have no idea. This is a barn burner, but I'm gonna go with William Knight as the slight favorite at maybe -130, -140.
It's funny because I hate you because in my notes I technically would have gone with Menifeld, but I've convinced myself based on these previous lines, like, hey, maybe the Devils have woken up and realized like what's popping off, right? And they're not giving just like these big name favorites with first round knockouts all the buzz. So it's like I was gonna switch, but you know what? Let's see if Vegas is that smart. I'm going to go Menifeld -160. I cannot see him anything better, but I could definitely see him being an underdog.
Oh, right. And so in checking out the line, it is a straight pick 'em. -110.
Congratulations, Pies. So, I mean, like we said, we know exactly what this comes down to. If Menifeld cannot end this fight early, he needs to prove that he can go 3 rounds with a guy like William Knight, who's proving to have power in like weird areas, bro. Like, I don't know how he's just pulling off some of these takedowns and just breathing pretty good for a guy that thick. You know, it's really impressive. And I think that's what's going to make it a fun fight and not the fight that people might expect with that notion of, oh, these could be 2 really muscular guys who, if they don't land in the first 2 rounds, it's going to be tiring. I really believe William Knight can go 3 rounds easy. And I think if that's something that Menifeld has worked on, he's going to be back into that dangerous territory of where we kind of saw him over the last like year or two, you know, before he started fighting some real big guys in OSP, you know?
Yeah, and this fight will be really telling for these guys' career because it's a big one, man, and any dominant performance, I think, can go a long way in this one.
Totally agree, bro.
So that wraps up UFC Vegas 20. If you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button. All our Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff is there. Give us a follow, give us a tweet, shoot us a message, whatever floats your boat.
Peace.